So when it comes to Mickey Thompson tires, they don't really need an introduction because they've been around for forever, which means I don't have to waste time telling you that, oh, they have this size, but not this size, but they might come out with it. No, if you have a truck, they likely already have your tire size. So pretty much wherever you drive, they've got a tire for you. But when it comes to the lineup and all these names, they are one of the harder ones to understand. So hopefully this video will kind of break things down for you and tell you the differences, mainly between their Boss series and their Legend series. So whether you're looking for an on-road tire, off-road tire, or the largest available DOT-approved mud tire that you can run on the street, Mickey Thompson has an option for you. So starting off kind of on the lesser aggressive side, we have their all-terrain hybrid tires, and they kind of put that in there a little different than other people, where you might have an RT tire or a hybrid tire that's kind of a blend of all-terrain and mud-terrain. Theirs are considered all-terrain tires, but with some hybrid components in there. So looking first at the Baja Boss AT, they have a lot of new technology that's put into these tires. So on this particular one, you're gonna see that Mickey Thompson offers 3 different side biters, or the side lug treads on here. This is gonna be the most aggressive option for you, the Baja Boss AT, and you can get these same ones on other tires too. I'll touch on that as well. What's really cool about these is in the metric size tires, like your 315s, you're gonna get a 60,000 mile warranty, which is pretty impressive for a tire that looks this aggressive, especially with this aggressive of a sidewall, and 50K mileage warranty on your standard like 35 12.5 R20 that we have here to show you. So these are also 3-peak mountain snowflake rated if you live in an area that requires that by law, or you just live in a snowy climate and you want a good tire for snow and good off-road traction, good wet traction. This is a great option. So the construction of the tire itself, they actually use not just bias ply or radial ply, they have both. So this has a really, really strong construction, and it's got a triple ply sidewall. So if you do any kind of off-roading or anything about that, that's definitely something you want. But it's not just limited to the off-road use, because that triple ply sidewall also means that when you smash into a curb at the Starbucks drive-thru, you'll be just fine. But realistically, like any kind of road debris or sidewall punctures, you don't have an issue. You don't have to worry about that with a thick sidewall. For what they are a heavier tire. These are close to, in this size, I think like 73, 74 pounds. So pretty heavy, but that's because of all the strength that they've got built into that. And they also add silica to their rubber compound. There's a bunch of science that goes behind that, and I'm not an engineer, I'm not a tire engineer. I can't tell you all the specific details, other than I can tell you that it reduces your rolling resistance but increases your traction, especially when it comes to those wet environments. And then lastly, as far as the actual tread design goes, you're gonna see that there's a difference here, meaning that they're asymmetrical. That doesn't mean that you can't rotate them. All that means is that you have the outbound side of the tire and the inbound side of the tire. On that inbound side, they actually have twice as many inboard tread lugs here as compared to the outside. So all that technology is really doing is, it has a variation in your tread voids to help with on-road noise, and then also give you that grip. You're gonna see all the lateral siping that they put in here. And then on that outside, if you're taking a really hard corner, you've got a lot of rubber that's making contact with the ground to give you really good stability, really good control, and the best kind of steering input and steering response, which is what you wanna expect when you're putting aggressive movements into your driving. So stepping down then into one of their Legend series tires, this one's going to be the Baja Legend EXP. This is also considered an all-terrain hybrid tire. So why do they have 2 of the same class of tire? Well, although it's the same class, this is a wildly different tire, especially right off the back, just when you look at the tread design. So this one to me reminds me a lot of what you might see on like a classic or vintage, even race truck. And that's kind of why it gets the Legend name. It's using an older style design, but with modern compound and modern technology built in the tire, so that you still get the best benefits from what a new tire should give you. So these two, being that it's from the Legend series, they actually offer, like, I think around half of their sizes have white raised letters. So if you want that look on like your OBS Ford or your square body Chevy, this would be a great tire for you to get that look that you're going for. They also have a 50,000 mile tread wear warranty, which is pretty cool when you look at a tire that's this aggressive. But you will see that they are slightly less aggressive when it comes to the sidewall. So there's less protrusion on these outside shoulder lugs here as compared to the extreme side biters on some of the other ones. Now, when you're shopping for either one of these, since they're both kind of in the same category and you're looking at price, the Legend's gonna be just under 1,800 bucks, whereas the AT is a little more expensive, a bit over $1,900, but there's a lot more rubber, a lot more strength and durability built into this one as compared to the Legend. So still a plenty strong and durable tire, but because they're able to reduce some things in this one to give you better street performance, the weight is significantly less. So these are only like mid-60s in the 35s versus going back to the AT here, that's like in the mid-70s, like I was saying. So then moving over to the more aggressive tires here, kind of in the mud tire side of things. First one, we're looking at the Baja Boss MT. Now, this one, like I was talking about on the AT, has those extreme side biters, so they really stick out farther. It's incredibly aggressive look, but is also giving you off-road performance. So when you have these things aired down, a lot of your sidewall is starting to roll towards the ground, so you're actually going to be able to use that for traction. Plus, it's going to be incredibly helpful in like a rocky environment. I know Kirk and I were out in Moab, and with the tires that we had, there were several situations where we're on the edge of a rock and they kind of slide down a little bit. So with these extreme side biters, you're getting more of that traction on the outside of that tire that really helps keep you in place so that you don't mess up your line and end up in a bad spot. Ask me how I know. Same kind of thing as far as the sidewall goes on these. These are triple ply sidewall, which means yes, they are a little bit heavier. However, they are incredibly strong. Like I said, whether you're off-road or on-road, it's a great idea to have strong sidewalls. This tire design as well, although it might not look like it at first when you start looking at it, it is also an asymmetrical design. Like I mentioned before, that doesn't mean that you can't rotate them. You certainly can. You can follow whatever rotation recommendation your manufacturer gives you. But you'll see when we start to look at this more specifically how you have these smaller lugs kind of in the center here, and then opposite of that, you're getting these larger tread lugs as well. So again, same thing as far as noise reduction technology goes. They're varying the tread voids. They have stepped tread blocks. Your outside shoulder lugs have these massive tread voids. So you also see stone injectors in there. That means that you can run these things through deep mud and it should fling it all out of there. Same thing with deep snow. Not quite so much when we're talking about ice, but definitely that deep snow. So this being the Boss series, this has a modern design with a modern compound. When you go look at the Legend, which is the next one down, now we're looking at more of a traditional or classic design, but still with a modern compound. So you're getting the best tire technology, kind of with a little more old school look. And I wouldn't necessarily say that this tire looks old school. To me, this still looks like a modern tire, but that's what Mickey Thompson is saying. When you look at this one, this also, since it is in the Legend series, again, about half of these are actually going to be available with the raised white side letters. So again, if you've got a classic truck or you like that white sidewall look, there's not many tire manufacturers that are still offering that. Mickey Thompson has got your back on that. These are actually a little bit smoother and quieter than the Boss, and I think a lot of that has to do with the tread void size. Now, despite having these really big gaps on the Boss and a little bit tighter on the Legend MTZ, from guys that are actually taking these off-road and using them, we're seeing really good results in the deep, thick mud on these guys. So if you're looking for more of a mud terrain tire, depending on what environment you're running these things in, this might be the option for you, the Legend MTZ. And if you're looking at rocks, you might want to go with the Boss MT. So kind of those are the differences here between the two of them. Price point on these, again, we're comparing 35, 12.5 R20s here. They're both 125 load index, they're both load range F. These ones are about just a little under 1,900 bucks for a set of 4. And then if we're looking at the Boss, these are just over 2,000. So again, same kind of thing here. You're getting more rubber with these, especially with the extreme side biters, sticking out a lot more. So a little more cost to these, but very similar weight. They're able to use some good technology to keep the weight down. So both of these are coming in right at about 70 pounds. So if weight's a concern for you, either one of these will do you good. So those are the most popular tires that Mickey Thompson offers. We got all these bad boys loaded up on the website. If you want to check them out and learn more about them, all the specs, all the details are there at customoffsets.com.